Good evening, Lagos. You are tuned into John Air on 88.5 UFM. Tonight, we're asking a very simple but very loaded question. Who is above the rules? In just the last few weeks, 3 incidents have dominated headlines and social media. First, the Ibom Air drama, a passenger removed from a flight after a disagreement with airline staff. Then the KWAM1 ValueJet Saga, reports of flight delays, disruptions, and VIP treatment that raised eyebrows. And now the NYSC controversy involving Raye, a KWAM member whose clearance was reportedly blocked, sparking a national debate on the power and accountability of public institutions. Now, these are different industries, different people, but the same underlying question. Are the rules the same for everyone in Nigeria? Let's have the conversation. All right, joining me to have the conversation this evening, I have Kathleen Ndongmo. She's a social justice advocate. Welcome, Kathleen. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's good to be here.
Good to have you here. Also joining us this evening is the principal partner at Iris Attorneys LP, Ridwan Oke. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. So I want us to dive right into the conversation, and I want to begin with, the airline situation. We know that Comfort has now been released. She has released a statement to say, thanks for the prayers, thanks for the love. The Minister, Festus Keyamo, has also come out to say, Minister of Aviation rather, has come out to say that, the government has seen how remorseful they both have been, which is why the charges have been dropped. Now, initially, she was sent to Kirikiri prison, but aside that, she was banned from flying for life. And then KWAM1 also faced some, not the same. So, about the situation, what are your general thoughts?
Let me start by saying that it's very comforting to feel that the day that you are oppressed, somebody somewhere is going to speak for you, right? So, I think that it's nice to see that she's out, because she had a lot of support across board from people who understand what oppression is. And my feelings about the whole saga is twofold. Is that one, our public sector, even the private sector, Ibom Air is a commercial private airline. These sectors need a complete overhaul, of how we met service to our customers, to the citizens that we serve. And on the other side, we as a people need a complete mentality overhaul in how we treat ourselves. And I will leave it there because I know that there is a lawyer here and he's going to address the nitty-gritties. But truly, we need to be able to extend humanity to one another. And that cuts across even the service industry.
Let's speak to our barrister here, Mr. Ridwan. What are your general thoughts? You can come from the legal angle, or just a lot of things have been said on X, on social media. So we want to know what your general thoughts are about that.
Okay, so I'm just going to say the issue actually highlighted a major issue in our justice system. The authorities cannot just pick up someone on the complaint of another citizen or another or a company, and then just charge the person to court without proper investigation. Because I believe this whole thing actually shows the loophole in our justice system, how it operates, how the police operate, how the court system operate, and as well how the agencies that are involved in the day-to-day activities of Nigerians, how they actually operate. It's a major loophole that needs to be looked into.
All right, thank you so much for that. People are saying that the way both people were treated, KWAM1's issue happened last week. We saw what happened. People are saying the way it was treated and the way Comfort was treated, totally different. Others are saying that, yes, totally different because the situations are different, because people are saying Comfort got physical. Others saying KWAM1 did not get physical. Do you think that because of who KWAM1 is, and because he's a celebrity, that is what sparked the difference in how, they both were treated in this situation?
If I said that, I don't think so, I'd be lying. Because it's glaring. And when you look at the dynamics and the context, of the issues from the beginning and even the outcome now, because, hey, one person has gotten an ambassadorial nomination and another person is just barely coming out of Kirikiri prison and saying, I'm in pains, give me some time to have some paracetamol maybe. The fact of the matter is that, there is a massive discrepancy in how people are treated in our society. And that's because of how we are cultured. We are cultured to believe that I better pass my neighbor. And we are also, there's a superiority complex that is consistently enforced in the mind of the average Nigerian, that, you know what, if I drive a better car, if I have more money, if I speak better, if I've gone to Obodo Yibo, if I have, then I'm better off than you. We don't instill a culture of, like I said before, humanity, of grace, of speaking well, of respect. Not the kind of respect that is subjugative, but the kind of respect that is reciprocal. When you are an influencer, when you are Jay or Nair that everybody knows, you carry a bigger mantle, you know, of humanity on top of you. And I don't think that a lot of our celebrities know that. There is a place for celebrityhood. There is that place where I would meet any celebrity and I would have the respect, or even the, how do you call it now? This oh, I've met a celebrity.
Yeah.
They have that place. We respect them. They met a lot of influence on our society, in the entertainment industry, in politics. There are people who have made Nigeria become Nigeria because of who they are. KWAM1 is one of them. But I also expect that you as KWAM1 should be, you know, carrying yourself in a way that I continue to idolate you and elevate you as that celebrity that you are. When you begin to stop a plane as KWAM1, I begin to wonder whether I should really, guy, how far now? So I think that there's a dual, you know, sort of responsibility and accountability that comes with, to whom much is given, much is expected.
So let's bring our lawyer in here. Do you think legally how both cases were treated is how they should have been treated? Because immediately she got off the plane, we saw how she was dragged out of the plane and immediately sent to jail. Charges were raised against her and all of that, even though those charges have been dropped. In the case of KWAM1, it was quite different. You know, he was not arrested. That's number one. And also the pilot involved, the pilot and the co-pilot also face some form of sanctions, and even though the minister has said that has been dropped, you know, but they are still going to face some serious, in his words, serious reprisals, you know, at their workplace. So it's like you are meting out some punishment to the staff here, but nothing was said about the air hostess here. And I want to also add that a lot of people have come out to say that the air hostess is known for being rude. That is not the first time. People that have flown Ibom Air have come out to say that this is not the first time she has been that way. So do you think legally how both cases were treated is how they should have been treated?
When you look at both cases, you see the Nigerian system. Almost similar cases, not similar, like almost similar cases. But the way they were treated and the agencies involved, Ibom Air now and ValueJet, the way it all happened, if it were to be an ordinary Nigerian, for example, the KWAM1 case, we'll be talking about terrorism.
Absolutely.
But because it wasn't an ordinary Nigerian, big respect to KWAM1. I love him, I listen to him. But what he did was very wrong. And how the authority handled it was very wrong. Because number one, it breached several laws. You can check the Nigerian Civil Aviation Act, carrying imprisonment and fines. Justice is a three-way traffic. Justice for the person who was offended, justice for the person who offended that person, and thirdly, justice to the state. That is the country that has made the laws. They made those laws to be able to ensure that everyone is able to go about their business amicably, peacefully, without disturbing others. So the moment you break those laws have to be enforced. I've seen the tweet of the minister saying just this afternoon that you know, the ambassadorial aspect of it was just for him to be able to rectify his mistakes, to address those issues, and that they do this all over the world. And I quoted him and I asked, do they do this all over the world after the person has been found guilty or before? Because this person has not seen any aspect or has not faced any difficulty for breaching the law. The other person, within a few hours, you are taken out to court, you have charged that to court and then sent out on remand to prison custody. So these are the issues, and any average Nigerian seeing this knows that, okay, if I do this, as long as my father is not known, I am not known, I'm going to jail. So the law should apply to everybody, no matter whose horse is God.
I just want to highlight here that, for people that may not have heard this, the federal government has announced plans to engage the Fuji music legend KWAM1, Wasiu Ayinde Marshal, as an airport security protocol ambassador, following the recent controversy over his conduct at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. A lot of people have come out to say a lot of things. I mean, the aviation minister, Festus Keyamo, is saying, like what our barrister here said, to act as a deterrent because of what he did, so that he's going to be the face of what's it called, of people not doing stuff like this again. The CEO of NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri,
Yes.
also put out KWAM1's video, and this is she's a federal government worker, right? And she also said to err is human, to forgive is divine. And so people started quoting that particular tweet and saying, as a federal government worker, should you be saying this? Because it seems like, this is obvious to the eyes.
I think that, impartiality is normalized in our society. And people do not know where the limitations are to the offices that they hold, the positions that they hold, the titles that they hold, and to whom they hold account. If this kind of thing happens abroad, and we're not just saying it because we want to compare societies, because whether you like it or not, we also have our dynamics in our own society. Our laws are a bit different, our cultures are a bit different. But should this have happened in another society, some ministers, some public servants' head is going to roll somehow. We have experienced where I remember in 2020, Boris Johnson, got penalized for I did not put on a seat belt. So we need to be able to understand that you don't just lend platforms to things that you believe are because I am affiliated to this person, maybe partisanly, maybe culturally, maybe familiarly, personally, right? We cannot do these things, because what happens is that it engenders a continuous psychosis. People will continue to repeat that behavior. People would not know how to change that behavior. It will even become worse. In the last week, we've seen even more videos coming out of people just malfunctioning. I don't want to say misbehaving. People are just malfunctioning, and they continue to malfunction because they know that there are no guardrails. Nobody safeguards anything. When those who are meant to safeguard are protecting people because of name, are covering people and allying, cheering people because of, how do you expect the normal average Nigerian to not malfunction? We need therapy in this country at some point. Seriously, emotional intelligence is the ability to control your emotions and be practical and realistic to a point where you help control the emotion of another person. But if you employed emotional intelligence, you would probably not act in the same way that you did. You would now look back and say, oh, I could have handled that a little better. That is why when people malfunction, it's very easy for them to come back and say, I'm sorry. Because they realize that they acted emotionally as opposed to practically.
Now, let's talk about the Nigerian aviation law. Does it give room for exceptions in boarding and takeoff rules for important persons? Do the rules that apply to an average person that is flying from Lagos to Akwa Ibom do the same rules apply to a celebrity, someone that is known? Or how does that work?
Okay, so I like the law because when you are making law, you don't make one for the rich, you don't make one for the poor. And the problem is that we have weak institutions. An institution whereby anybody can just call in and have you disregard your rules and protocols, and that's what we operate in Nigeria currently. So until we build strong institutions, we cannot build a strong country, because issues like this, partiality, issues of fair hearing will be easily disregarded, because anybody can just make calls, and you even hear some audios that were coming out of those conversations, threats to airport staff, to the staffs, and even the owners of the airlines and the likes, because okay, I think I can do this and I will do it if you don't bend to my will. So there are no separate rules, there are no separate laws. The only exception can come, okay, if there's an health crisis which you have provided beforehand and you have been cleared. Optic is very important because citizens are looking at what you are doing. So when you don't enforce the rule with someone and you enforce it on another person, you are sending the message that, okay, as long as you have money, as long as you have the name, then you can easily go scot-free and nothing will happen. And
do you think our leaders care? Do you think our leaders care? Because back in June, former President Senator Adams Oshomole was also caught up in a situation with Air Peace, where I think grounded the plane and said, he explained the situation. Basically, passengers could not fly because they did not allow him board. And then he obviously went across media houses to explain the situation. But people were saying that no matter the situation, whether you have issues with the Air Peace, whether they were in the wrong, you don't have the right to stop an airplane from flying because you're not the only one that is flying. Now, Nigerians did not only accuse him of that. Another Nigerian woman, who we don't know where she's from, also did not allow a plane move, because the plane did not carry her bags or forgot her baggage. And then it was an entire thing. So my worry is, do our leaders actually care? Because you mentioned optics. Do they care?
Why would they care, Jay? Why would I care if, like he said, I have put in systems that are basically inexistent, that I myself can circumvent? And this is not just a Nigerian problem. Let me give you another example. Just next door in Cameroon, a minister grounded a plane for over 3 hours because guy was late. And it didn't matter. You're the minister. You're the upkeeper, the upholder of the rule of law and order. You are the one to be enforcing and ensuring that this service works properly to meet the needs of citizens so that they are happy. But you are the one scattering the rules. What does that tell you? It tells you that they only care for themselves and the selfish, I will take this plane even if I will be late, and I will ground people for 4 hours. So it speaks to what he's saying about strong institutions and strong systems that can even hold you, the minister, accountable, that can enforce and ensure that you will not keep a plane, on the tarmac for 4 hours simply because you are late. Now the question is, who is going to ensure that we have strong institutions, strong systems that hold everybody to account? That's why civil society can be quiet. That's why people can be legal. The legal, industry sector cannot be
NBA
quiet.
has come out to say something.
And I'm proud that the NBA came out to speak up. We don't see this in Nigeria every day. So I believe that even as we indict ourselves as people for the sort of mentality some of us have, there's still a shift in the way that people are approaching the problems that we have. Why? Because like we say, it go reach everybody.
With the craziness of life, having multiple apps for paying your bills, doing your transfers, investments, monitoring your loans can be quite chaotic, and it doesn't have to be that way. All you need to do is go to the Credit Direct app for your investment, for your transfers, for paying of your bills, for monitoring your loans as well. Credit Direct does it all. What you need to do is go to your Google Play and your App Store to download the Credit Direct app today. You don't need to take my word for it. What you need to do, download and then come back and say, John, thank you so much for plugging me to Credit Direct. I'm waiting for your thing. I think we have a phone call, so let us hear from this person now. All right, welcome to the show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good. Well done, Joe. This is Yusuf calling from Misholosha.
My brother, welcome. Go ahead, please.
Well done. See, let me start from your guest, the lady there. You see, we are part of the problem. When we say people are malfunctioning, they are not malfunctioning, they are misbehaving. The way we package things, it doesn't make us realize that we are misbehaving. We are behaving like animals in this country. Sincerely, if people steal money, you say they are mismanaging. They stole the money. Let us call a spade a spade. And to the minister, how do you expect a minister to say no to the president's son? So, and to the lawyer as well. The law, we have 2 laws in Nigeria. Let me correct you, sir, my barrister. The law is only working for the poor. It doesn't work for the rich. You know that. So don't package it for them. Let us see. I think one of our problems in this country that we use English to let these people feel important. Sincerely speaking, imagine now saying they want to give him a ministerial appointment. On what ground? On what ground? You see the problem, I've always been saying it, is we, the Nigerians, that we will take our future into our hands. If these people are breaking law, look at Yaya Bello today. I still mentioned it yesterday. Yaya Bello is a working free man now. And somebody that stole maybe a cup of rice or a bag of rice is being jailed for 15 years. Is in this same country. And you are telling me that the law is the law. There is no law for the poor. There is no law for the rich. The law is for the poor. So it is we that will say, no, we want a change. If all of us, if we are not rising to this occasion, Nigeria will remain a zoo. Yes, led by one man eye. All of us, we are blind. And we are not blind, we see it. We just decided to be using English to polish it, to package them. Well done. Thank you for the good job.
All right, thank you so much for calling. I mean, a lawyer, this is what you practice. I'm sure we're going to have more people calling to say they do not believe in the rule of law in Nigeria. We still saw the case of the young boy who was jailed at 13, I think, in Abia State, and he just got released this year. He's now 22 years old. Where does he pick up his life from? So you understand the frustration that the average Nigerian has. How do you speak to that frustration? How do you speak to that as someone that practices day in, day out here in Nigeria?
Okay, first of all, I'll say this again. Our problem is not the law. Our problem is enforcement.
So there are laws already.
There are laws. Our problem is enforcement. And I've been on the field several times, and I've seen a 16-year-old boy in prison with adults for the simple right of just protesting. And the fact that you have to look for all these persons, we have a system whereby if police arrest someone in this country right now, probably in Lekki, the police, and you've been looking for the person for the past 3 days, you can go to Ikeja and the police in Ikeja will help you declare the person missing. Meanwhile, the police in Lekki have the person, and the person is in their custody. Why? Because that person, as you are arresting someone, you are supposed to allow them notify their people. This is where I am. I've been arrested at this also police station for this offense. So I can agree with you. The law is not working for every Nigerian. So I agree with you 100%. I'm also a Nigerian. I have my own issues. Exactly. So I know what I know what I go through on a daily basis because the system is not working. So the system is not working for us all. So, but what I'm saying here is that whatever it is that you can do from your own end, try and do it, because I try to do mine as much as possible.
And I can understand the frustration of the caller. Let me just extend an olive branch to him. Maybe we're going to break bread over malfunctioning in the context of emotional intelligence. That was the context. But I do understand the frustration of the average Nigerian vis-a-vis, the judicial system not working and many other agencies associated to it. And it speaks to the same case for why we are here. People are saying Comfort should sue, but other people are saying, well, why should she even sue? The system is not going to work in her favor and all of that. But like he said, you cannot give up simply because something is not working. Had we given up on speaking for her, she probably would still be in Kirikiri. And trust me, you don't want to spend a day in Kirikiri prison. Now, imagine the days when there was no social media, when there were no podcasts, when there was no Instagram. Imagine the number of people who are picked up over something that maybe they did, maybe they didn't do, and they're thrown in jail, and then you find them 40 years later and nobody knows what happened. So as we evolve as people, we do have, I call it low-hanging fruit, opportunities where we can put pressure to make change happen. And I'm an eternal optimist. I don't think that we should just fold our arms and do nothing. If you are a lawyer well. If you are an activist well. And let's see where the pressure is going to yield some fruit.
I mean, speaking about suing, do you think Comfort should sue here? Because the minister has come out. Because I know that even from the minister's statement, I think you have to read between the letters. He said they were both remorseful. So I have two questions here, and I'm going to go with our lawyer first, and then I'll come back to Kathleen. Do you think she should sue? Do you think she has grounds here and a case to sue?
Okay, she has very solid ground to sue. First of all, the Constitution guarantees your right to human dignity. She was betrayed and intentionally embarrassed because, like I asserted right from the time I saw the video, number one, a shirt was removed intentionally. If you watch the video very well, you see it. A shirt was removed intentionally. There was no need to touch a shirt to start with. Then number two, as to the fact that secondly, the video, let's say you even made video and maybe a shirt was removed unintentionally and our body was showing, why couldn't you edit the video, that part out before you post it? That's a crime on its own. Section 24 of the Cyber Crimes Act. It's 3 years imprisonment and at least 7 million naira fine. That's a cyber crime and assault involved in the whole thing. So she has legitimate ground to actually take action as a citizen of Nigeria. But the issue here is that I do not know the conversations she has had, especially with regards to probably because she was also seen assaulting
the health.
So all of those things will come into play. And
because they've come out to say that she's remorseful.
Exactly.
So someone may say that she may have signed something that we're going to release you here.
Exactly.
Make things easy for you. We're removing the lifetime ban. So don't come for us.
First of all, the lifetime ban, nobody has the right to put anybody on a lifetime ban in Nigeria. That's the truth. Number one, no investigation was done as to what exactly happened. Immediately you sided with the airline and announced a lifetime ban. And the organization that is saying that they are announcing a lifetime ban, who are they and what right do they have to do something like that?
I think that's the AON.
What right do they have and what law gives them that power? The only thing is the Section 46 of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Act that allows them to investigate and probably still like a minor ban towards the time that they'll be able to investigate and all of that. No investigation has been done. The law has not been followed. You are announcing a lifetime ban just to subjugate her and negotiate and ensure that she suffers for something both parties were obviously guilty of. So this issue, she has legitimate ground to sue, but the issue here is this issue was contributory. Probably she also did some things that were obvious and could be proven against her. So I think a lawyer will assess that and say, if I should sue, will my client suffer some issues and she may be prosecuted on some issues? Yes, then let's look at it. Let's try and settle and see what goes on. But apart from that, she has legitimate ground. In fact, I said it. She should sue Ibom here for every penny they have, because what they made her go through, I doubt if she will ever forget it in her life. That's the truth.
I mean, she's in the news forever.
Exactly.
And I want to bring you here. Apart from the fact that she's in the news forever and the trauma, her naked body is on the internet forever.
It is. And
people have turned, that nakedness to memes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very, 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 very unserious, and people that obviously I don't have the words for those people. Yeah. But how do you speak to those people that decided that I can make a video, post the video, and to the people that decided that it's okay for me to share the video and make memes of somebody's nakedness in this situation?
I think that a lot of people do not understand the emotional, the social, the legal, and the psychological repercussions of things like that. There's something we call in digital activism violence against persons online. And beyond the online, you also have the dark web. So I feel so bad for Comfort. And that's why I agree with the lawyer here, who is saying, you know what? She needs to be able to sue, even if it's just to send a very strong message. And also, this is where when we enact laws like cybercrime law, we need to follow through with those laws to ensure that they act as a deterrent for people who would use, images like this post-event. So beyond her being assaulted physically and all of that, right now, she's now being digitally assaulted. And it's a very serious thing. It's a crime in many countries. And it's something that needs to be taken up beyond just suing the airline. if she should see someone who shared this, she has the right to sue as well. So these are very concerning things that we as a society need to begin to take up. And I'm sure that if we do in our various, industries and portfolios, then perhaps we would be able to change certain attitudes that are occurring online and off.
Welcome, Mr. Go ahead,
well
please.
done. Yusuf calling again.
Go ahead.
Respect of the lady. I said it yesterday. They should, number one, the person that was recording the video supposed to be jailed. Who gave her the permission to even post in the first place? You are posting the picture of somebody. In fact, Barrister, when I said it earlier that we don't have laws in this country, it's only working for the rich. Imagine if that happens to be one of these airlines. If happens to be one of, let's assume Otedola's daughter that misbehave like that, that video will be brought down that day. That's to tell you that we don't have laws. And that person, they'll make sure that person face the consequences. The law only work for the rich when it pays them, but work against the poor when it doesn't pay them. So I've always been saying this. Let us do better.
Thank you so much, Yusuf. Thanks for calling us back. All right, let's transition from this issue to another. But before we do that, let's take this quick call. Welcome to the show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good evening. This is Balaji from Ilogoji.
All right, go ahead, please, Balaji.
Yeah, basically on this issue now, let me say, unfortunately, I'm so sorry for what happened to the lady, because if we should look at it from what Yusuf said earlier, if it was to be one of those privileged daughter, it would not have ended this way. I'll be sincere with you. But then the fact that if this case should keep on dragging and dragging, I'll be sincere with you, it will have to do with connection and power. Because I know why this case was being withdrawn and the minister has to come into it and intervene was basically because of the people intervention that has also brought them to also investigate what KWAM2 has also done. That was why, because if KWAM was not involved in this whole situation, I'll be sincere with you today, they would have wanted to cheat the lady in question, even though they have to publicize. But what they were seeing was being the fact that the petition, the IG, that someone has done this, the person is not sleeping in Kirikiri. Someone do this, people took the person to Kirikiri. So why? Because for me, I'll be sincere with you, as the lawyer has said that fine, the law is for everybody, they lie. The law is for a set of people, let's be realistic with ourselves.
Thank you, Bolaji, for calling into the show. I mean, you hear this and then you're saddened, because this is what is reiterated every single time we have conversations like this on the show. Let's talk about the Raye issue. This is a core member that is supposed to pass out, supposed to receive a certificate, and the NYSC says you didn't show up, for clearance in April, and that is the reason, you're not getting your certificates. She has a lawyer here, Inebe Efyong, I hope I'm calling his name correctly, saying that is not true. She actually showed up in April, and it is because of the issue that happened in March, where she said Lagos is smelling, and it became an entire thing. She had to show up, and she said the NYSC was not the same immediately after that happened here. Now, this is the case that she's actively fighting, because they're saying they want to add 2 extra months, into a service year. Nigerians are clamoring. We're seeing people constantly tagging NYSC. NYSC has released a statement to say that is not what happened here. People are saying the LGI involved is the one that made sure that, you are the one that feels you can call people out, so you are going to pay for what you've done. I want to bring a lawyer in here. Have you studied this case? What can you say legally about, this situation?
Okay, so looking at the Raye issue, I think I also said a few things back then in March when this issue came up. My thought back then was that everyone has the right of freedom of expression to express yourself in this country, and most importantly, you should not be punished for speaking up. And she rightly spoke up about the economic issues, how the NYSC payment was not enough. It wasn't enough. Nobody could have lived on that 33,000 based on what we have right now in Nigeria. It's insane. It's not even possible whatsoever. But then you kept on paying. You were the one that said, okay, apply, come and serve your country, and then you are paying them 33,000 naira monthly based on the economic situation that we have right now. So she has not done anything illegal. she was exercising her rights. However, in fact, I took a cursory look at the NYSC bylaw and what I was looking, okay, what can these people actually like come under to say that this person has done something? I couldn't see anything. The only thing I saw was something about if you are rude to constituted authority, speaking out and saying things that is real and genuine, that is actually happening to average Nigerian, is not rude. So there's basically nothing you can hide under the NYSC laws. Now, that aside, the issue, because I read, Inibe is someone I know, the lawyer, a lawyer is someone I know very well. I read through his post on X and the letter he wrote to NYSC, and from what was written in there, she actually presented herself for screening at the end of the monthly clearance, and the HJI said she should come back 3 days later or thereabout, or she asked her to put a different date entirely, and that was what caused the problem. So perhaps she should have not, probably because she felt like maybe she had already done something they were after her for, then she just put in the date that they asked her to put, but she put it innocently. So now where I'm going is that it boils down to institutions and weak institutions, because the NYSC staff are civil servants, and I myself have been through the system of the NYSC, and I know how LGIs lord themselves over members. They behave as if they are God, and if you don't bend to their will, they are going to make sure you live in hell. And that's just exactly what happened here. She is using her incompetence to give her an extra 2 months, because the evidence they are presenting now is that she actually came on the 11th, not on the 9th, which she actually signed for 11th.
I mean, Kathleen is laughing. You can, because you hear the 11th and the 9th. It's quite ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
But the question I even want to ask is, you speak to the LGIs being a certain way. People that pass through the Nigerian educational system will tell you that lecturers are like this, secretaries in offices are like this. Once they realize that it's your final year, you need me now, to graduate. I'm not going to put a signature here. Do you think that there is a Nigerian problem? Because this is not just the government. These are people in little positions. You're a civil servant here, you're a secretary there, and you feel like, you're a police officer here, police officer, you're part of the army here. Now that I have power, is this how do we speak to that, and how can that be addressed?
We've gradually, so it starts from, I don't know whether it's a chicken and egg or an egg chicken situation, because it starts from a leadership that, forgive my word, bastardizes a system so much so that the only way to outpower the system is to have power. And then people believe that, if I have to have power to navigate the system so that the system does not kill me, because we have this prayer that we say, like, may Nigeria not
kill you, or happen to you.
For me to have that power, I need to have power. I need to have money. I need to have a name. I need to have some influence. I need to become a celebrity real quick. I need to. And therefore, when people get that, they don't get it to serve. They get it to oppress. And so you then sit down and wonder why it's so difficult to get a yellow vaccination card because you want to travel. You go there and this person say, you want to travel, Abi? I will make sure you don't get that card. We do everything, to oppress the average Nigerian. On the other side as well, the person who feels that they are being oppressed then becomes extremely combative. So I go to an office. I've come this evening to your office and I meet security. And because probably of my poor experience, I don't remember that humanly. These are humans in front of me. I need to say, good evening, how are you, sir? When they ask you where you're going, you say, I'm going to here, or I don't know where I'm going, so they can help you. But you can 90% of the time, you end up in a situation where somebody will try to use soft power and then you end up in an altercation.
Let's take this one. Welcome to the show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Lawrence, calling from Shomolu.
Lawrence from Shomolu. Go ahead, please.
Well done.
Thank you so
Dear
much.
people in the studio.
Thank you so much.
Let me just first of all say, with reference to...
You need to switch off your radio, Lawrence, so we could hear you properly. Switch off your radio. Switch off your radio.
Okay, with the reference to that lady that was boarding the Ibom Air flight, I will say that there is no law in this country. And the only law that we have in this country is weak to the powerful, and it is powerful to the weak. Then in respect to this lady in NYSC, I will also say there that Nigerians have what I call the spirit of crab. Crab. You know crab?
Yes, crab.
Alakon. Crab. You know when you put crabs in a bucket or a container, as one is climbing up, they'll be looking for every means to make sure the one that is climbing up, you will be pulling down those ones that are coming up. The one that is down will be trying to pull down the one that is going up. That is just all I can say. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So this looks like a larger issue, you know, based on what he's saying, that the average Nigerian is offended at, you know, what KWAM1 did, is offended by what the NYSC is doing, but you then get a position of power, and then you become what you were complaining about.
Ask yourself what it takes to get that position in the first instance. Yeah? What will it take for you to become a minister in Nigeria? Somebody, I don't want to call the celebrity, broke down what it takes to become a senator. And you begin to ask yourself, if that's such an investment, should I then go in there to serve or to recoup my investment in any which way that I can? That is why I say it's such a massive problem that for us to actually kill it, my late father used to say, you cannot kill an elephant with a hammer. You need a bulldozer to be able to do it. Now, if you get a kind of leader that becomes a Lee Kuan Yew in Nigeria, everyone will say, oh, we're in pain. But we need to get to the point where we address issues. If it is fire, we need water to douse it. So I think if someone sitting in a service industry, and for example, we don't have a, I hate to be generalistic about, because I like empirical data. So I don't want to be general and say we don't have a culture of excellence, but do we? We come from a place where anything goes, anyhow it goes. Square pegs in round holes. Somebody who was not in health is now the minister for health. Necessarily so. There are certain spaces where you really need the technical know-how to be in. But you're there because you are the son of the daughter of the mother of the father of the son of the cousin of such and such. Are you going to serve the people in that position, or are you going to reflect how you got into the position?
Wow, I mean, this conversation, it's a lot to unpack. I want to take this call because, you know, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Welcome, Yusuf, you're back.
Yes. You see, I'm talking about, let me just chip in something about the copper. You see, we fail to understand that whatever position you are, you can't be there forever. I'm referring to the NYSC officials now. You have less than 30, in fact, as I said, you have less than 10 years to use in service. Now, when the government is being hard on us, we within ourselves, within our low level, we are still adding more to our own pains. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
Imagine if the said that were to be a woman, or to be, even if you at least the said that we have a child or a son or a daughter, then the child is coming back to face something like this. It's the karma. So the lady, they've wasted her 1 year already, because me, I see NYSC as a wasted of time. Sincerely speaking, I've never seen, it's not been productive for a while, for some time now. They are just there wasting people's time. Anyway, for the lady, the thing is that the 2 months will soon be over. It's not forever. She has served 1 year already. The 2 months will soon be over. But the third guy should remain in service. You understand? Nigeria will happen to her or to him as well very soon. Well done.
All right, thank you so much. I mean, this also reminds us of, the lawyer, our iconic lawyer, Femi Falana, who couldn't get his own NYSC certificate until about 18 years after. And this was when he was part of the Okuta panel, and then he brought it up, and that is just such a sad situation. To wrap up this entire conversation, I want to take this last call because I love our people to speak. Welcome to the show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Sorry, Lawrence calling me again.
All right, go ahead.
I want to chip in something. Some of us will remember what happened with the Arab Opera in 2011. Things that are happening in this country gradually, or let me say, is similar to what happened. That a particular person in in fact, the country that initiated it, I think that was Tunisia, poured petrol on himself and burnt himself out of frustration. Like the last caller said, they want to frustrate that girl. But they don't know that one day, as a matter of fact, let me tell you, that girl, I may not know who she is in terms of how her emotion is, but it will shock you that she has registered some people's name in her mind forever. And if she gets anywhere, she will be asking, where are you from? You are this, you are that. She will trace whoever. And God may, like that person said, karma. It will not come to the portion of that, the daughter or son of whoever has treated her badly like this. She will revenge. She will take her own portion of revenge. So people should just be doing whatever they want to do. You will repeat. There is no way. Let them continue.
All right, and that is what we hope not to happen, for you to go through a bad system and treat other people that same way. As we have to wrap this up in 30 seconds, our lawyer, how do you wrap up this entire we've talked a lot, what do you say to wrap this up?
Okay, so I'm just going to say this and also call people's attention to this, as to the fact that our justice system needs a lot of improvements, and one of that improvement is the loophole that was exercised with regards to the lady with the Ibom Air. And the loophole is that when you have a complaint, a criminal complaint, you lodge it to the police, and then if you motivate them enough, the police are going to charge the person to court immediately. So that's a major loophole. There should never be a situation whereby you charge a case to court without proper investigation. No investigation, no police can tell me that an investigation was done and they arrive at the conclusion that we can prove this case. We have said that you have committed this offense, and we can prove it logically without wasting the resources of the state, without wasting the time of the court, and without stressing you and making you go through extrajudicial issues. So what I'm saying here is that people use the police to punish other citizens, especially when they know that those citizens are powerless, and they know that once they charge you to court, the court is going to just listen to whether you are guilty or not guilty. So, and then they grant you bail, you go to prison while you are still trying to perfect your bail. Whether you like it or not, you are going to go to prison and you don't want to go there. So they make you bend to your will to do that. So what I'm saying in essence is that we should have a system whereby anybody can report to the police, fine and good, but the police are going to actually do their job and ensure that they review the cases before deciding to charge to court.
All right,
so
Kathleen.
That's just it from my hand.
Kathleen.
I will just speak back from what he says. It takes a very high level of principle, high level of morality to not be abusive to people in a system that is abusive to you. We need to get to that point where we'll see each other as humans first. This is why none of us can condone what Comfort did, even after perhaps she was allegedly provoked into responding. Because I learned in customer service that action is never equal to outcome. There must be a reaction in the middle. So A is never equal to O. A plus R gives you the outcome. So we need to become more human. First for ourselves, so that we don't abuse other people and then turn around and say, oh, it is because I live in an abusive society. That is why I'm abusing other people. The society is oppressing me. That's why I'm oppressing other people. And then lastly, support from humanity is a powerful thing. There is a comfort that you feel that when you know that if something happens to me, someone's going to save me. And I think that Nigerians are very brilliant in supporting one another, and it's something that should continue.
All right, thank you so much to Kathleen Ndongmo, a social justice advocate, and to Ridwan Oke, principal partner at Iris Attorneys LP. Thank you so much for joining us on this show. We hope to have you again. You know, we appreciate your thoughts. To wrap this up, we go straight to Jay's take. I want to speak to the government, the people voted you in. You're a minister, you're put in there also by the people. Yes, the president appointed you. You are in any industry, you're in any parastatal, you are there because of the people. The people are asking you to do right by them and do your jobs. I know that somebody watching this will say, at the end of the day, nothing is going to happen. But we cannot keep quiet. We have to keep speaking to these people, keep speaking to our leaders. If you are leaders, lead us. If you are leaders, serve us. You are a public servant, serve the public. And to the average Nigerian, it is your job not to be abusive because you live in an abusive system. Kathleen has said it, and I'm just taking that. You cannot defend your rude attitude. You cannot defend your wicked behavior. We constantly take advantage of each other. There's an increase in fuel price. You go buy tons of fuel, and then you sell it for ridiculous prices. You know, you get into a position of power and you become what you condemned. A lot of Nigerians have become the things that we have condemned. And this is why, no matter if we don't change this thinking, if we don't change this orientation, Nigeria is going to remain the way it is. Nigeria cannot change just because of the leaders. The people also have to change for us to get to the point that we need to get to.